focus on the show this afternoon is around pit bulls and whether or not they should be banned. There have been several calls, of course, given the fact that a number of people have been mauled, some unfortunately to death, by this particular type of breed. But we're now joined by John Faul, an animal behaviorist, and he joins us via the telephone line. Thank you so much for your time, John. So, just calls for the banning of pit bulls, as domestic animals are growing, quite frankly, as more incidences of people getting mauled are reported. Are these calls justified? What's the better alternative?
Okay, Renati, thanks very much for having me on your show, first and foremost. And secondly, may I extend my condolences to the family. My heart, it hurts. It hurts, it really does. So please, do not think any of my presentations are in any way meant in a disrespect to the memory of your child who's in heaven right now. It is not. But I feel that we must take a pragmatic view. We must keep it within context, and we must remain objective, because it is a solution that we're after. And sometimes there are a couple of spine needles involved in that. Onati,
I'm listening.
Sorry. When we're talking about this particular breed of dog, I think the first thing that we've got to remember is that all dogs are descendants of wolves. And effectively what I'm saying is that they're a social pack animal. They live by rules. There are laws. There is a very important law that exists among them, and it's called the conflict avoidance law. And the conflict avoidance law clearly states you do not get into unnecessary conflict with anything that can harm you. Even if you prevail, you will be injured, and how long will it take others to turn you into their evening meal? So the objective is that you do not engage unnecessarily. The second thing is that aggression, by its very definition, is a defense reflex. You have to feel threatened before you will execute it. Overt aggression is learned aggression, but primary aggression is a defense reflex. And in particular breeds, there are those that have a higher defense reflex, some quicker to use their teeth to defend themselves than others. And that's simply a law that exists among themselves that clearly says on a football team, you cannot have 11 goalkeepers. You have to have a striker, a left full, a right full, you've got to have midfield. Everybody gets a role to play. Well, that's the same as a dog-wolf pack. And the pit bull happens to belong to a zone who have a high defense reflex unati. It doesn't take a lot of pressure unati for them to snap. But at the same time, they are governed by laws of social nature. And that is, they live in a pack, there are rules, there are social engagements, there are social energies that get negotiated very much in the same way as you will see if you travel into the rural areas of our very beautiful country. And you see in villages, it's like the biblical writings on that. It's like opening the pages of the Bible.
Sure.
Granny sat on the porch. The dog who should be eating the chicken is not.
Yeah.
And the ducklings running along behind the other dog are doing so because
John, I want us just to go back. You talk about the very nature of pit bulls. I appreciate that, and you talk about this defense reflex that they have. But we're talking about an 8-year-old boy who was playing in his own yard. And he was then attacked by this dog that had to jump a fence. Where was the defense reflex there on an 8-year-old? I mean, I'm just talking about just some of the maulings that we've seen of children who have done nothing to provoke this particular type of breed.
I'll answer it like this. It is a freedom reflex. These dogs are kept in small areas or mostly on long lines and chains. And because they cannot get access, that dog was very much aware of the child and the other property. But not being able to gain access to it creates a huge amount of frustration. Humans are seen in the same way. And when that frustration gets released with something that has a high defense reflex like a pit bull, it sends it into overdrive. Now, I'm going to say something that is not so much controversial but sensitive. Animals do not know what human beings are. They have no idea. Hand your cell phone to your dog and you'll quickly find that out. They take us because of a law of habituation. They live with us, so therefore we are type who should engage in and understand the laws that exist within their world, because they have no capacity to understand laws.
Let's talk then about
individual as a human. And I say that just to take the emotion out a little.
Let's talk then about the responsibility of the owners. With all that you're saying about pit bulls and just the dangers around if they, for instance, don't have what they are accustomed to, and where the aggression then begins. What then is the responsibility of an owner, knowing that this particular type of breed needs certain things to thrive in a healthy environment? In terms of your training, what are some of the things that you tell these owners in terms of the pit bulls?
First and foremost, you check out your neighbours for children. And if there are children existing in that neighbourhood when you bring in your puppy, the relationship with those children begins immediately with that puppy. Those children are encouraged to come and visit. They're encouraged to give treats. They're encouraged to play. Those that play together stay together. Wolves have extended packs that don't all live in the same den. They have different den sites. So these children would be then very clearly seen as part of the general pack, but not part of their particular den sites. And that would accommodate them safely with any further interaction with that puppy. And even in the case where there is an adult dog and children come into the environment, well, the first thing we want to teach this adult dog is that this child is a very positive thing. So we make a recording of children playing on the street, kicking football. We bring it into our home on our cell phone. We play it to our dog, and we give our dog some treats, even if it's a crust of bread. The dog hears the children screaming and immediately gets food in its mouth. It begins to associate. You mean to tell me those children screaming are causing you to give me the food I enjoy? I'd want to be a very stupid dog to want to chase that away. And I wouldn't have any frustration at the fact that I didn't get actual physical interactivity. I would know, hey, I hear that sound. You become benign. You start giving me food. You tell me I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I love these children. It's called positive sensitization, and it's called being aware of the environment you live within. And when you do this to the puppy during what's called the imprinting stage, that puppy then has got that hardwired into its brain, and it will carry it through the rest of the seniority classification periods.
All right, John, thank you so much for that and for that insight. John Faul is an animal behaviorist.